Hi everyone, my name is Michelle. Happy New Year, happy 2024, and welcome to my channel and my very first YouTube video where I'll be talking about my MICROLOCS journey, lifestyle, and a bit of fashion. In today's video, I'll be talking about things to consider before getting MICROLOCS, why I decided to lock my hair, and why I chose MICROLOCS, the interlocking technique specifically. So there are several things you need to consider before getting MICROLOCS, right? Because it's a very, I think, is a very very important decision because this is semi-permanent. I've heard that people can actually take down their MICROLOCS, which is very very daunting to say the least. So before you decide to get MICROLOCS, you need to do your research and see if it's something you can commit to long term because it's not something you do and take off. It's actually long term. And if you want to grow your natural hair, that's something to also consider. So you really need to do your research, make up your mind if this is something you want to and if it's something you can commit to long term, because like I said, to take it down, it's a very very daunting procedure, but it can be done, but it's very daunting. So there are several things you need to consider before getting MICROLOCS. To understand your hair texture and the type of microlock technique rather that will be most appropriate for your hair texture. So there are different types of microlock techniques. First one, there's a two-strand twist where your hair is twisted in two. The normal two-strand twist, when your hair is twisted and the hair is left alone, over time it locks. That's the first one. The second technique is the interlock technique, which is what I have on. A particular tools are used by the loctician to interlock the hair with each other. This type of technique locks faster as opposed to the two-strand twist. That's one of the reasons why I decided to get this particular kind of locks using the interlocking technique. And another kind of locking technique to consider is the comb curl, where a comb is used to wrap the hair around each other from the root all the way to the tip. Hopefully I'm able to get pictures of what each of these techniques look like so I can put them on the side so you can have a clearer understanding of these kind of lock technique. Then there's the free form. The free form, I believe you're able to achieve this if you are a loose natural. So for loose natural hair, you just leave it, you don't comb it, you don't condition it. Over time it just locks by itself, whatever form it takes. That's the way the lock would grow over time. There's also the braid technique where the hair is braided and left over time. They lock together, braided and it locks over time. So those are the kind of techniques that you need to, okay, is this what I want to get? Is this what would be suitable for my kind of hair? Is this what I would love my lock to look like? So you need to do your research and see the types of techniques available so that when you get your lock, it's something that you are comfortable with. It's something you anticipated. So you are not taken off guard or caught off guard when okay, no, this is not what I wanted. This is not how I want my locks to look. So just have a clearer picture of what each of these techniques and how they turn out over time. That's the first thing you need to consider. And also you also need to consider the pattern styles, basically how from the roots how your hair is parted, because over time if you are able to maintain those grades, that's the form your hair will take over time. So there are different types of parts. There's the square part, which I have on. There's the diamond cuts. I hope I'm able to put pictures of this so that you can have a clear picture of what each of these techniques, what they look like, or the pattern styles, what they look like. There's a diamond cut, there's also the crescent, and then there's the free form. The free form, like I said, it takes whatever form, you just leave the hair, it takes whatever form it wants to over time. So another thing to consider is the care and maintenance of your hair or your locks. You also need to pay particular attention. The care and maintenance of my locks, is this something I can commit to long term? Is this something I can commit to? Because I met a lady the other day, she told me, oh, she got MICROLOCS, but then she got tired of it and then she cut her hair. Why? She said she could no longer, care for the hair. It was getting rough and she just got tired of it. So you need to do your research. I believe that she reached that decision because she probably did not, do a lot of research to know what is expected of her and what she needs to do to ensure that she achieves the best look for her locks. So to avoid that kind of scenario, know the care and maintenance of the hair. If it's something you can commit to long term, best advice I received is when you first install your locks, the best thing to do is to just leave it, let it mature at its own pace. Because as soon as you lock your hair, you do not expect to achieve the beauty or the lush looking locks within the first few months. It takes a while. From what I hear, it takes from 9 months upwards. So you should be patient with your locks because you do not get the fullness immediately your hair is locked. On today, as at today, I'm about 5 months locked. So I still have a couple of ways to go to get that, the maturity of the locks. So I'm happy that I'm able to start this channel. So over time, we can go through this process together. You can see the process of and the stages of how my hair matures. If it's something you like, I'll talk about my hair texture in subsequent videos, so you have an idea what this particular kind of hair texture would turn out to be when the locks matures. If you live an active lifestyle, because when I got my locks, the first few months I was very active at the gym. I was going to the gym about 5 to 6 times a week. The best way to protect your newly installed locks, if you live an active lifestyle, is to put your lock in a protective style. So what I did was immediately after my lock was installed, I did cornrows and I wore wigs for the first 1 month uh, until I got a retie. So if you live an active lifestyle, you need to protect your hair, your locks, so that it doesn't unravel. If you do not protect your locks, because of how new it is, it's your hair has not locked. It has just been put in the position for it to be able to lock or lock as quickly as possible. If you disturb the hair too much, it will unravel. So that's one thing you need to consider. For the first few months, you just need to let the hair be so that it takes its natural process of getting locked and to prevent unraveling. So I've been one to explore with different hairstyles. If I was say, I first became a loose natural in 2013. I was a loose natural up until 2020 when I relaxed my hair. After relaxing my hair, I realized that I was losing my edges. My edges are not the strongest. Even under these locks, I've lost. I'll talk about that in subsequent videos. But if the wind blows when my hair is relaxed, my edges go away with it. Just joking, just exaggerating, but that's how fragile my edges are. When I realized I was losing my edges, I decided to try something else. I got pixie cuts. When I got pixie cut, it was very beautiful on the very first day. Oh my goodness, very beautiful. I went to bed that night without tying the hair or even wearing a bonnet. I woke up the next morning looking like a rat that was dipped into hot oil. As at that time, the headboard of my bed had a mirror. So as soon as I woke up, I looked at myself in the mirror. I almost screamed. It's like, no, Michelle, this is not for you. Because it takes a lot of time and maintenance to get pixie coil looking very beautiful. Anyone you see with a nice looking pixie coil, give them a thumbs up. It's not easy. You almost have to wake up every morning and flat tongue the hair or use your curling iron to make sure it looks beautiful. If you're able to do that, oh well and good. But I was unable to do it. I wore that hairstyle for about 2 to 3 months, and then I cut my hair. I went low cut, did some styles. I made some shots about it. You can go to my shots and look at the process, the hairstyles I carried from 2020 up until now. I cut my hair and then I let it grow again. I was natural from 2021, I think, until 2023. I was a loose natural from 2021 until 2023 July when I decided to get MICROLOCS. Yes. So I've been one to explore different hairstyles and just see how it looks. I've never been afraid to try new things. Another reason I decided to get MICROLOCS is because my hair was shedding a lot. I would comb my hair, the whole floor is filled with hair. I go to the bathroom to wash my hair, the drain is clogged. So the shedding was very oh no, it was too much for me. I was always scared to comb my hair. At some point, I stopped combing. I would just use my hand to, detangle, put it in a twist to avoid so much shedding. The shedding was way too much. Another thing is I needed to feel confidence in my hair. I needed to grow my hair. I needed to be able to wear my hair without so much stress. I could wear my loose natural hair. I used to carry my loose natural hair to work. I used to explore different loose natural hairstyles. I'll make some shorts and or maybe by the side of this video I'll put some of the styles I did with my loose natural hair. It was not a problem for me to carry my loose natural hair, but the time and effort that I would have to put in place to ensure that the hair turns out looking nice was a bit too much. I have to put the hair in a twist a night before, deep condition, detangle, untangle. It was too much to achieve the beautiful look the next morning. Before you are able to get a fro, you make sure you can't go to bed with your loose natural hair. Well, my loose natural hair, I couldn't go to bed with my loose natural hair without twisting it or putting it in braids a night before if I want to look like a reasonable person the next morning. That was it. I got tired of having to maneuver, all that effort just to get the hair looking good for the next day. And before the day is over, so that the shrinkage is real and everything. Yeah, I enjoyed it while it lasted, but then I needed something more easy. So that's another reason I decided to get MICROLOCS. So why I chose MICROLOCS, the interlocking technique to be precise, is when I saw it for the first time, I fell in love. I knew it had its pros and cons, but I decided to embrace the pros and I'll deal with the cons later. But it was very beautiful. The first lady I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, how did you get this done? And she told me, I was like, I would consider this. I looked at it, I did some research. But when I was getting into, I just did it. It was more like do it now or else you change your mind because of how permanent and how much of a permanent decision it is to get your hair locked. You'll be skeptical. I was very skeptical. I dragged for about a year before I decided to get my hair locked. But then I think I'm glad I did. I think because it's turning out nice, if I do say so myself. Another thing why I chose MicroLocks is because it's lightweight. Well, for now, it feels really light. It feels like it feels like I can easily maneuver the hair. It feels like I can braid over it. Well, of course I can braid over it, but I was advised not to braid over it just yet. I can braid over it. I can make cornrows and wear my wigs if I decide to have a different look rather, because most people are very concerned about the fact that the hair is very permanent. Oh no, I can't. What about my wigs? What about my braids? But then in the last year or 2 years I've been wearing cornrows and wearing wigs over the hair. So if I can also wear wigs over my microlocks, what's stopping me from doing it? So because of that freedom, the fact that I can make braids and make cornrows and wear the wigs over it, I can also braid over it. I decided that this would be something I would not regret. I think I don't have any regrets just yet, but yeah. So because I had the option of, I can even make weaves over it. From what I've heard, it looks, because of how close to being a loose natural it is right now. I believe I can make weaves over it. When I get to that bridge, I'll cross it. But right now, I'm just enjoying leaving the hair down, making cornrows, and wearing my wigs over it as I please. So that's it. And I would say it's a bit easy maintenance, but I would say that with a pinch of salt because of how tiny the locks are. Relocking the hair depends on how much time you let your hair. Takes a while. The first retie I did took about 2 hours, and I left the hair. That was 4 weeks post installation. Took about 2 hours. So I would say it's not so much of a hassle to maintain the microlocks. The only thing I would say is the snag is the cost of maintenance. So you need to also consider that, because installing and maintaining MICROLOCS, if you are not in Nigeria, it's a bit expensive, it's a bit on the high side. So you have to prepare your mind for the cost implication of MICROLOCS. Also, most people that I'm aware that have their hair locked, they've mastered the technique or the act of retying their hair themselves. If it's something you are able to do, then all well and good, perfect. Minimum expense for you in maintaining the microlock. I think that's all I would be focusing on today. I've talked on things to consider, the type of microlocks, why I decided to get my hair locked, and why I chose microlocks. Those are the three things this video is focusing on. If you've watched up to this extent, I say a big thank you, because this is my very first video. I've been very nervous about putting myself out there, making a YouTube video, talking of whatever. But here I am today making this video talking about my microlux journey. I will also talk about my lifestyle. I'll talk about my fashion sense. You guys are in for a treat, I think. Anyways, if you've watched up to this extent, I say thank you very much. Please click the subscribe button. I'm a new YouTube channel. Please support me. Like, and if you're feeling generous, share. And thank you very much for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope that with time I'm able to share what I know about micrologs. I hope I'm able to putting as much information out there. I hope a lot of people are able to learn from me. I hope people are able to learn from my mistakes and my journey along the way. And if my video inspires you in any way and you decide to get your hair locked, please let me know that I was your inspiration. And until I put out my next video, I have not decided on how often I'll be putting out videos, but I'll try my best to be as frequent and regular as possible. I'll try my best to put out as much content, put out as much information, so that we can guide ourselves and learn the ropes of what we need to do to get healthy and beautiful locks. So I would say stay healthy, stay beautiful, and stay confident. That's going to be my sign out. Stay healthy, stay beautiful, and stay confident. Those three things, top notch for every lady. Stay healthy, stay beautiful, and stay confident. Thank you very much for watching my video. I'll see you guys when I see you. Bye bye.